If you're moving to Glendale and you're doing your research on what it has to offer and what it looks like, you might be finding that there's not a ton of videos out there on Glendale just because it's not the biggest suburb. It is a pretty small part of town, but let me tell you, it is one of the absolute cutest areas in St. Louis. The homes are gorgeous, the neighborhoods are really cute and charming, so if you're moving to Glendale, I'm gonna show you what it looks like, I'm gonna talk about what it has to offer, and as usual, show you all the footage, all the clips of what exactly it looks like to live in Glendale. So let's get right to it. Hey there, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the Living St. Louis channel. My name is Jacob Peistrup. So like I mentioned, Glendale isn't the biggest area in town. It is a pretty small community, but let me tell you, it is right in between Kirkwood and Webster Groves. Both of those are much bigger suburbs, and Glendale is pretty much like if you took both of them and combined them, that's Glendale, because it is very similar to Kirkwood and Webster Groves. They're already very similar areas, so Glendale is not too different. So today we're talking about what it's like to live there, the pros and cons, and of course showing you the neighborhoods and showing you the houses you get by living in Glendale. And hey, by the way, if you're moving to Glendale or another part of St. Louis, if you want help with that process of moving to St. Louis, buying a house, and everything that goes along with that in this crazy market, my team and I are licensed realtors in Missouri. That is what we are here for. If you want help, send us a text, send us an email, let's get in touch. My team and I are always working with our YouTube buyers, and that is my favorite part of my job. Myself and my team, Madison, Kelly, Tracy, and Mo, serving our clients is our full-time job, and we absolutely love it. So if we can even remotely be of service to you when buying a house in a brand new city, let's get in touch. So given the fact that Glendale is right smack in between Kirkwood and Webster Groves, you are definitely going to see elements of both of those areas in Glendale. I mean, really, it looks the exact same. So if you're driving through town, you could probably pass through Kirkwood and then Glendale and then Webster Groves and not really know when you're in one versus the other because they are so similar. Now, right off the bat, the biggest differences you'll probably realize is that in Glendale, there's not a ton going on as far as commercial areas. So Glendale is really a bunch of different neighborhoods and residential houses, but there's not really a downtown area or a shopping area with bars, restaurants, that kind of stuff, because you'll see that definitely in downtown Kirkwood and in the downtown parts of Webster Groves. But Glendale is just kind of on a lower scale, like it's just not as much going on. It's just much more houses, much more residential lifestyle. I will say there is a small kind of commercial area on Sappington Road. There's a couple shops, and that's right next to the fire station. For the most part, if you're living in Glendale and you want stuff to do, you want to walk to a bar or a restaurant or just go get lunch somewhere or go shopping, there isn't really like a walkable downtown area of Glendale the same as what you will see in Kirkwood and Webster Groves. So that is the biggest difference. But as far as the homes, the neighborhoods, and the prices, Glendale is pretty much on the same level as Kirkwood and Webster Groves. And with these neighborhoods you'll see, I mean, it looks the same as Kirkwood and Webster. You will see a bunch of these mature communities with trees all over, you know, walkable sidewalks, kind of like a block system in some ways. Kirkwood kind of has a very like block structure. Glendale and Webster Groves kind of, but not as much. But with these neighborhoods, you'll see some parts that are very old, very historic, a lot of these kind of historic Victorian or Tudor style homes. And then blended in with the older homes, you see the newer built homes, the custom, the new construction. But that's the thing about Glendale, and again, same as Webster and Kirkwood, you got a lot of diversity with the styles of homes you'll see. So it definitely is not the area of town where you see the same house again and again. You're not gonna see the same, you know, floor plan and facade throughout an entire neighborhood, because all of these houses are for the most part gonna be different age, different style, and obviously built at different times. So you'll definitely notice that you have a lot of variety with how old the house is, how updated it is, and just overall the way it looks and feels on the outside and the inside. So Glendale is perfect whether you're someone who really wants a charming, historic home with lots of character and those original architectural features. And if you're someone who wants a brand new modern farmhouse, you'll see that a lot throughout Glendale with the new homes being built. Whether it's a spec house or a custom home, you will see a bunch of variety. And I mean, honestly, even with the new construction in a place like Glendale, it just feels very nice. It's very well done, at least in my opinion. It's not one of these areas where you see a bunch of new development that sometimes leans towards the cheaper side, not as well put together, kind of like this, sprawling suburban area. You do not see that in Glendale. It does not have that kind of cookie cutter vibe that you will see in some other parts of town where there is much more new development going on. I mean, I guess the best way I would put it is that it has charm. It has character. Like, the houses here have a story. You see these historic homes, you see the stories that go with them, and even if it's a newer home, I mean, you can tell it has character. Someone designed it well, and it's a well thought out house. It's not something they just kind of slap together, put on some windows and put on a roof. No, it feels very well done. It definitely is kind of, an upper scale part of town. You're not going to see the cheaper new construction like you'll see in some other places. So Glendale, similar to Kirkwood and Webster, does, skew on the higher end of price in some cases. And even if it's not the most expensive house, it's probably going to be on the smaller side simply because Glendale is not known for having these huge houses. The lots are smaller, the homes are smaller. It might be, a very updated house, but it's not going to be this huge sprawling estate. So a lot of the lots in Glendale are going to be on the smaller side. You could find a cute, maybe quarter-acre lot if you're lucky, fenced in backyard, and similar to Kirkwood, a lot of the lots can be more narrow, so they might go back farther. It might be like a deep lot, but not very wide. So because of that, same as Kirkwood, you will see more often a lot of homes with a detached garage in Glendale. And that goes the same for the historic ones and the brand new ones. Like whether it's a Victorian historic mansion or a brand new modern farmhouse, a lot of these places will have a detached garage, usually towards the back of the lot. So you'll have the house right up front, the driveway goes right past it, and that'll take you, right to the back of the yard where you have a detached garage, probably 1 or 2 car garage. You might find a 3-car garage if it's a higher end house or it's just a bigger lot. You might also find a place that has a bigger lot if it's a corner lot. So a lot of the places in Glendale and Kirkwood will have a long house with an attached garage towards the back, because if you have the benefit of a corner lot, it gives you more access for the driveway to just come in on the side instead of going around the side of the house into a detached garage towards the back. And I mean, I'll put up the footage to show you what these neighborhoods look like, but really you see the same in Kirkwood and Webster Groves. It just kind of has this very quaint and charming neighborhood feel, kind of like a small town of its own, if that makes any sense, because even though you're in a suburb of a pretty big city, it doesn't really feel like one of these other very typical suburbs. It kind of has its own charm and style that's pretty unique to Webster, Kirkwood, and Glendale. Like, they kind of have their own look and feel compared to some of the areas around them. So that's one thing that I think is really unique about it. And it's tough to describe, which is why I need to show the videos of it, but the neighborhoods are just very cute, very charming, and walkable. The lots, again, aren't huge, but you have a very nice and charming, kind of close-knit neighborhood feel. Now, since, like I said, Glendale is not a huge area for schools, Glendale does not have its own school system. For the most part, almost all of Glendale is going to have Kirkwood schools, which are very highly rated by niche.com. There's like a little sliver of Glendale that has Webster Groves school districts, but for the most part, Glendale is in the Kirkwood school district. And it's kind of funny because I always compare Webster and Kirkwood because they look pretty similar, and just, you know, the downtown area and the style of neighborhoods is very similar, but their school systems are rivals. Like, they are enemies, they are rivals when it comes to school districts. So if you're in Glendale, I mean, it's like a 99% chance you're gonna have Kirkwood schools unless you're in one of a couple neighborhoods that technically are in the municipality of Glendale, but with Webster schools. So really, it is very similar to Kirkwood and Webster. So honestly, if you're someone who really likes the style of either of those, so if you're moving here and you're interested in Kirkwood or Webster, you could also consider Glendale because it is very similar. I would say probably more similar to Kirkwood just because you have the aspect of school district consistency, whereas Webster is going to be a different district regardless. Kirkwood and Glendale, very similar. Like I said too, the only big difference is that if you want to be walkable to a downtown area, that's going to be tougher to find in Glendale unless you happen to live near downtown Kirkwood, whereas in Kirkwood, you have a lot more neighborhoods that kind of stem off of the downtown area. Aside from that and the convenience factor of all that, the style, the communities, the neighborhoods are very comparable. So if you're moving to Glendale or another area around it, like I said, if you want some help with that process of buying a house, relocating to St. Louis, that is exactly what we're here for. So that number on the screen, that email right there, send us an email, send us a text, and let's get in touch and let's help you with that process. That is my favorite part of my job, and the same for my entire team. That is what we love. So if we can do anything to help you, let's get in touch. Until then, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you take care. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video right here on the Living St. Louis channel.